Hey, Silvana. Thanks for joining. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Saturday night. There's Rosella online as usual. My regulars. I'm actually in my car here. I'm trying to get the light a little bit better for you, but we're going to go with... Oh, there, a little bit better there. So thanks for joining. My name's DJ Valori. Rosella, how you doing? Hope you're having a great weekend out there. Thanks for the hearts. So I want to talk about, and I don't want to waste anybody's time who's on here today. It's going to be a quick Periscope. Sorry I'm late. I was supposed to do it at about 8:30 or so today, but it got tied up. Hey, Silvana. So I want to talk about the top entrepreneur traits that I see, right? That you got to have to be a successful entrepreneur. Marcos, thanks for joining. Everybody, thanks for joining on a Saturday night. There's Marcion. Youssef, thanks for joining. Where are you guys from? Before we get started, let's talk about that. Hey, Marcos. Hope you got out on your bike today. So listen, I just wanted to... I got to close that. All right. So before we get into it, for those of you who don't know me, my name is DJ Valori, and I am a successful entrepreneur. I run a multi-million-dollar business that I started from my bedroom with just a piece of paper. I'm not here to sell any books. I didn't write any books, and I'm not here to sell any webinars. I'm here to just tell you like it is and give you some real-world advice on how to start and run a successful multi-million-dollar business. So if you like that, go ahead and click the little person there. Hey, Allbogs, thanks for joining. Share this Periscope with your friends so we can get more people on here. I know it's Saturday night and everybody's out probably partying, but wanted to, thanks for the share there. Let's talk about the top 10 entrepreneurial traits that you need to have as a successful businessman and entrepreneur. So the first thing, and we talked about this on previous Periscopes, is passion, right? You got to have passion, which is the fire in the belly, right? Everybody talks about that all the time. And the fire in the belly basically means that no matter what, you're never going to give up and you're going to push through because you're going to have ups and downs. Thanks for the hearts, Marcy. Jay Mandel, thanks for joining. Where are you from, Jay? Are you an entrepreneur, business person? Black Eagle, thanks for joining. So passion is the first trait, and we're going to talk about 10 entrepreneurial traits that you should really have most of if you're going to be successful, and you should really think and consider working on the ones that you don't have, right? So the first one is passion, that fire in the belly. Because as a business owner, you're going to have ups and downs. So that passion is what's going to make you, hey, Jake 10, thanks for coming back again. You were on my previous Periscopes. I appreciate it. So passion, we talk about many times. It's going to ride you through the down points. When you're feeling down, you have some bad news, you lost a customer maybe. You want to make sure that your passion is on level 10 or 11, right? Because that's going to make you push through, and that's the most important trait, I think, as an entrepreneur that you need to have, is really believe in your business and have that passion to make it no matter what. The second one is, are you a promoter? That's tip number 2. Are you a promoter? Do you know how to promote yourself, right? Because you're going to need to know how to promote yourself as an entrepreneur as you pitch your new business ideas, concepts, etc. Thanks, Rosella, for inviting your followers to the Periscope. So tip number 2, as to be an entrepreneur, you really need to be a promoter. So you got to have passion, you got to be a promoter, you got to know how to write press releases, you got to know how to create the buzz out there when maybe, it doesn't deserve to be created, but you got to kind of spin it. You got to know how to spin things. So if I didn't have that skill, I would go to a marketing class, potentially my local college, and try to get that skill set, right? I've learned it over time in running my business and starting up my businesses the last 15 years on how to promote. So you got to write press releases. We had other Periscopes also that we're going to be soon putting up on YouTube so you can refer to them that talk about public relations and how to market your business online. The third one is you need to handle stress, right? Because you're going to have many times, especially when it becomes financial situation, it's probably the most stressful, and employee-related issues are very stressful. So you got to be able to handle the stress, do whatever it is that you do to handle that stress. Some people exercise, some people eat, whatever. But you got to be able to handle that stress, right? So we've got passion is number 10. Donna, thanks for joining us. Where are you from, Donna? If you can chime in and let everybody know, I'd appreciate that. Tonight we're talking about the top 10 entrepreneurial traits that you need to have if you're going to be, you're from Atlanta, cool. Top 10 entrepreneurial traits that you need to have to be a successful business person. Now, why am I saying this? Who am I to share this with you? Well, I haven't written any books or anything like that. I don't believe, everybody's an expert out there, but I know that, I have the experience. I've run a successful business for 15 years now. It's a multi-million-dollar business that I started with practically nothing, just a piece of paper and an idea. So I think I have some credibility and why you should be listening to my tips. So let's talk about point number 3. You got to be healthy, right? So you got to try your best to be healthy because you need to have that energy level, right, to go out and be passionate, to do your marketing, to handle your stress. You got to be healthy as possible, right? So personally, I have high blood pressure, but what I do is I exercise quite a bit now, 3 times a week with a trainer, and as best you can, watch your sodium intake and what you're eating. But you got to be healthy because if you're not healthy, nothing else really matters, right? It's really tough to pursue. Keep calm, entrepreneur in the house. Thanks, Rosella. Appreciate that. So in addition to number 1, which is being passionate, number 2 is knowing how to promote yourself. Number 3 is handling stress, the ability to handle stress. You also have to be healthy, right? So do your best to have a good healthful situation there, right? Number 5 is, are you comfortable with risk taking? Now that's really important because if you don't take risk, you're never going to make it, right? Because if you stay in your comfort zone all the time, forget it. As they say in Jersey, forget about it. You're just not going to make it, right? You got to be able to take risks because risks you take is when you fail, and when you fail is when you learn, right? If you don't fail, that's right, Silvana, health in body and mind. But if you don't fail, you will never learn. So you got to embrace failure as a business owner. Any other business owners on this Periscope tonight? We've got 9 people, and we know more will come on the replay. But hit me up if you're a business person, entrepreneur. Let me know, and let's engage here. So it's not just one way. The other thing that we want to talk about, hey Elise, thanks for joining, is of course from the risk factor, being able to take risks, like I said before, is you need to be able to embrace failure as a friend, as they say. And that's because, like I said, if you don't fail, you're not trying hard enough. Yes, you just started your own jewelry line. I'm selling locally online. That's great, Jake. Good to hear. Lorraine, thanks for joining. Where are you selling from? And you have your own website, and are you sourcing that all yourself, or do you make your jewelry? That's pretty cool that you do that. Etsy, okay, that's cool. And that's a good source of revenue for you? Or do you go on other websites as well, or just primarily on Etsy? It's good to hear, Jake. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. Again, for those of you who just joined, my name is DJ Valori. I'm an entrepreneur, and I try to help people. Congrats and good luck. Oh, you said that to Jake. Thanks. That's right. Congrats and good luck. I got to pay more attention to those notes. I'm an entrepreneur, and I just try to help other small business owners as they struggle through and operate and build their business. D. Sparrow, thanks for joining. Where are you from, my friend? So going back to the list is, you need to embrace failure because that's when you're going to learn, right? And some people really fear failure. And this acronym that I've read about, fear is really false events appearing real. And that was really kind of moving for me too, to learn false events appearing real. So when you've got that tough phone call with a client, or the sales pitch that you're trying to make, and you're working it up in your head, and then you get on the call and it really isn't that bad, right? Just like jumping off the high diving board or going on a roller coaster, after you've done it, those false events, fear appearing real, really is all BS, right? They're just not real. So be able to get over your fear and your hurdle there, because that will definitely hurt you in your ability to move forward as a business owner. And just know that it's all in your own mind, because people don't really care that much about you, and they don't really care. So if you're giving a presentation, a speech, people always get nervous about that, and I still get nervous too before I get up there. But once you start doing it, it's again that fear factor, false events appearing real. It's not really real. They just appear to be real. So it's all in your mind. So just remember that as you go forward. You also have to be, number 8, a creative problem-solving person, right? So with my team, when we have situations where we've got client situations or problems with something, I get everybody together. We'll have a conference call if not everybody's in the office, and we'll talk about, and I listen about potential solutions, and then we brainstorm together and then come up with creative solutions to fix the problem. Everything is fixable. There's no such thing as it's not fixable, right, when you're running a business. Just get creative, think outside the box. What if we did it this way, or what if we did it that way? As I like to always say, it's always about time and money. If you have time and money, you can pretty much do anything, right? So think about it that way, time and money and being flexible. Everything has a solution. That's right, Rosella. Thanks for sharing that. The ninth trait I'd like to share is that you need to be competitive, right? So, and I'm very competitive, for sure. Believing in yourself and confidence in what you do, what you know. That's for sure too, Silvana. Thanks for sharing that with everybody. You got to believe in yourself and be, have that passion, and all of that goes with it. But you want to also be competitive, right? So always strive for that deal. I get such a kick on just getting a sale. It's not about the money for me. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about just closing that deal and knowing that I won over that person. I got their business. I got them to sign a check and become a customer. The Athlete Educator, thanks for joining us. Where are you from this evening on Saturday night? I'm actually sitting in my car in New Jersey, down the Jersey Shore. It's nice and cool here because it's really hot outside. But let me know where you're from. I'd like to know that. London, all right. Boy, you're up late. I guess you can't sleep, huh? Well, hopefully I'm not putting you to sleep tonight, Athletic Educator. But tell us a little bit about your business so we can share with other people on this scope as well. What is it that you do? So again, those of you just joining that are new to my scopes, I do these 3 times a week. Thank everyone for the luck. I sell wooden and silver rings. I was wondering how. Oh, good. That's cool. Hey, Jake 10, do us a favor because we want to check out your website. Put it up if you've got a link to... Okay, we'll talk about promoting a small business. But put up a link to your website unless you exclusively sell on Etsy. But do you have your own website, Jake? That's definitely a place I'd start as far as promoting the small business. Personal training courses and coach people on life after sports. Oh, that's cool. Very good, the Athletic Educator. Actually, I work with a trainer, as I said earlier in the scope, 3 times a week. Definitely motivates me because I've tried to go to the gym on my own and I just never go. So now I go every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it's great. Keeps my health in check, which is definitely something you need to have. You need to be healthy and have that energy and stamina to run a business, right? Because you're going to be pulled from all different directions and handle all these different issues and problems. So being competitive was the number 9th trait that I had. You always want to get that deal, always want to make that sale, just for the sport of making it, right? It's not the money, but it's the sport. My shop name is JC Wood Rings, and I'm on Instagram. Definitely feel free to check out my Instagram. Absolutely. I'll definitely do that, Jake, after this scope. We'll take a look. But from promoting it as a small business, here's what I would do, okay? I would write some press releases. I definitely set up a blog, if you don't have one already, and start talking about and writing about how you design and create your jewelry online. Because that is definitely a great small business tactic. Blogs are fairly inexpensive. And I have a book coming out in November, Athletic Educator. Cool. We'll take a look at that as well. But from a small business standpoint, be sure to set up a blog and talk about what you do as a designer of jewelry, as a manufacturer of jewelry, etc. Other people will like to do that. And what's really important, Jake, is that you look for keywords in your business, right? Things that people will search on Google and Yahoo and Bing. And when you write your blog posts, make sure that you actually that's right, video blogs are also great too. But make sure that you write in your content, you use those keywords throughout, sprinkled throughout your text, because that's what's going to get you picked up on the search engines, and that's going to raise your visibility with Google, Yahoo, etc. So that's one thing you can do that's fairly inexpensive. Set up a blog if you don't have one already. If you don't have a website, it's okay. So set up a blog. Your jewelry company name, blog.com or something like that. You can use TypePad. You can use Blogger. You can use WordPress as well. And if you want it to be really designed and look really, really sharp, go on elance.com. Elance.com. Those are freelance developers and designers throughout the world that can design your blog and make it really pop and look really professional. Then you start writing all these articles, right? And the search engines will start picking up that content because you're using keywords that people are searching on. Use the keyword research tool that Google has out there and type in specific terms related to your industry, and you'll see which ones people are searching on the most, and start focusing on those, the ones that people actually search on. Not what you think is a great keyword, but search on, use the Google keyword tool, and use the tool to find great keywords that you can put into your blog. Yeah, Elance is a good resource for blog developers, absolutely. So definitely do that. Then I would definitely write some press releases and start distributing them through either PR Newswire or Business Wire. There are some free also, thanks to the athlete educator. There are also ways you can distribute your press releases for free. Again, what you're trying to do is to gain more visibility across multiple channels over the internet. Out there, to get your name out there. And over time, if you keep doing this, and I'm talking about do it every week, blog 2 or 3 times a week about your jewelry, and you have so much to talk about, your creativeness and where you get your ideas and how you do your pricing for jewelry and what makes it unique, etc. You can write blog stories all the time, all week on that stuff. So that'll create content, and the content will be picked up by the search engines. So the other thing too is the last trait I want to talk about. Yeah, Rosella, great point. Pictures on Pinterest as well. You want to definitely take pictures of your artwork and your jewelry creations and create boards on Pinterest and start pinning there, because that'll show everybody visually your work, right? So that'll help. So all these things really don't cost much, if anything, other than your time. So you're going to have to devote some time to actually make it work, right? It's just time in your situation. Although you can hire people to help you out, you probably don't have the budget to do that. This is fantastic. I haven't thought about all of this. Oh, that's great. Thank you. And then Jake, like the athletic educator said, vlogs, video blogs, but also YouTube, right? Film your creations. Perfect demographic. Go on YouTube and create a video and create a YouTube channel that shows you creating and designing your jewelry. And again, what makes it so special. So again, what you're doing is you're hitting the industry, if you will, the world, in a multi-channel, multi-platform approach, right? You're not just focused on advertising or promotion offline. You're doing, of course, Facebook, YouTube, blogging, Etsy, all Pinterest, as we talked about, Instagram. Certainly you're doing that already. We're going to take a look at that after the Periscope. So do all of that stuff. And the multi-channel approach over time will create so much content that it'll start to get picked up by the search engines. YouTube adds that personal touch to customers. That's right, so true, Rosella. It certainly does. So the last tip I have for you this evening, the 10th tip on entrepreneurial traits that you need to have, is can you handle criticism well, right? No one likes to be criticized, but you know what? If someone talks about my business, or if a customer is unhappy with us for whatever reason, I welcome that, because that's how we learn, right? If we've dropped the ball somewhere, and nobody's perfect and no business is perfect, but I know that my people are so dedicated and loyal to our company and to our customers that they go above and beyond what our competitors can do. So, but once in a while, we drop the ball like everybody else, and our customers let us know. And the important thing is that you learn from it. So learn from criticism. Again, it's part of, that failing factor. It's how you learn. So don't be upset with the criticism you might get in running your business. Of course, you might be sidetracked by people, making fun of you or saying, "Oh, you're crazy to start your own business or do this or do that." And you know what? That's because they're jealous and they don't understand it, and they wish they would be doing what you're doing, but they're not. They don't have the guts to actually do it. So, if to everybody out there that's starting a business and running their own business, congratulations to you on that. And don't let criticism bother you. Thick skin and confidence builds openness to learn from the criticism. What type of business am I in? Donna, that's a great question. I didn't introduce that. I own and operate a digital marketing agency. So we work with hotels and resorts. And like I said, I do this podcast, Periscope. I do this Periscope 3 or 4 times a week because I travel quite a bit. And because of the business commitments, I really never know when I'm going to be doing these things. But the company name is Lodging Interactive, Lodging Interactive, and our special niche is we work only with hotels and resorts worldwide. So we're a multi-million-dollar business, like I said, started with nothing. But here's the key thing, too, that I didn't really want to get into on this scope, but my experience, I've got 25, 30 years in hotel sales and marketing experience, right? So that's really important, too. When you start a business, you want to make sure that you've got some credibility, some experience, and you kind of know what you're doing. You don't just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to start a business if you don't have any value to bring to the table, right? So think about that. And, you think about, a lot of people also they start emulating other people and to be like them. Like, people want to be like Steve Jobs, or they want to be like Bill Gates, or Richard Branson. But you really have to emulate the journey that person took, right? Not where you see them today, because that's the final destination, if you will. Even though there is no final, it's always learning. But the people you see today that are successful in business are successful because they worked their asses off for the last 10, 15, 20 years, sometimes even more, right? It doesn't happen overnight. So if you think that person is successful and you want to be like them and you start emulating them, that's really the wrong thing to do. You're not going to make it that way. You really have to emulate their journey and what they've done. So go back in time and look and see what they've done, where they've failed. That's right. Emulate the journey, not the people. Thanks, Rosella. So that's really important. So don't get carried away with what you see now on TV or in press releases and so forth. It's really how the person got to that point that you really want to study and try to learn from, not where they are now. Thanks, Donna. Thanks for saying that. Donna, where are you located again? You might have told me, but I've forgotten. What type of business are you in as well? Anybody else on here running their own business? Atlanta, that's right. I'm sorry. And what kind of business are you in, Donna? If anybody else is running their own business on here, let's talk about, brainstorm some ideas. JKS 1075, thanks for joining this evening. Where are you from? My name is DJ Valori. I do this Periscope. National Sales Manager for a bridal manufacturer. Oh, cool. All right. We work with a lot of bridal websites ourselves with hotels, The Knot, etc., where we market our hotel customers on those types of sites. It's a huge market, huge vertical to be in. So I'm sure you do a lot with Pinterest, or your social media team does a lot with Pinterest, Instagram, and so forth visually. But that's definitely a great vertical market to be in. I do these Periscopes 3 times a week to try to help entrepreneurs and just brainstorm and just, have conversations and engage with them. You can follow me if you like these. Just follow me on Periscope so that you get the alert when I do the next Periscope, which again is like 3 or 4 times a week whenever I can. So, and you can follow me on Twitter too, at DJ Valori, DJVALLAURI. So anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it. I'm sure you had plenty of other things to do on a Saturday. People always getting married. Yeah, and need dresses, sometimes more than once. That's for sure, right? So you got the white dress and then the different colors after that, right? That's for sure. And I saw something on Shark Tank once. I'm not sure, Donna, if you saw this, but a lady was selling those runners that they have in church where, the bride and groom walk down. They were custom-made runners. She didn't get any funding, but she did really, really well as her own business through the internet, marketing her products that way. But I thought that was pretty interesting that they had these high-quality runners that you have lined up down the church so the bride and groom could walk on versus the cheaper ones out there. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining me this evening. Hope I'll see you guys. Jake, thanks again for coming. Thanks for all the hearts, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time on the next Periscope that we do. All right? Thanks again, and have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care, everybody.